Hey everybody, Sue here from Sierra Sewing, Quilting, and Vacuum, and today we are working on quilting. So I have this cute little placemat panel, but honestly, anything that you want to do, add a little extra quilting, this is a good technique for. So super easy, just a few little supplies. I'm working on my FAF Expression 720, so that comes with a built-in walking foot, which is wonderful. If your machine doesn't have the built-in walking foot though, you probably want to have that because that's going to keep all your fabric feeding at the same rate. So what I mean is, as I'm sewing, my presser foot is pushing one way while the feed dogs are working another way, and sometimes when I cross that line, that tends to bubble up and pucker. So the walking foot kind of helps distribute that out. We don't want any puckers. The other thing is my nice little quilting bar. I don't know if you can see this. And this is one of those things that a lot of people just have in your accessory bag that you don't know what to do with, but it's for sewing parallel lines. So we'll work with that today. I've got my little friction pin, which again is wonderful because I can mark that, and with my iron, it just disappears. So that's a wonderful thing. Always test that on your fabric before you commit to your major project, just to be sure. I've never had it not work, but you never know. And then you want some kind of an open toe foot that you can see. So what I'm gonna do on this one, it's an open toe foot, but it has a little flange in the middle so that I can see where I'm going, but that is gonna hold my fabric down so it doesn't kind of tunnel up in the middle. So this is called the Sewing Stars foot for the FAF, and most machines have some version of that. So anyway, the last thing is you need a long ruler that's marked with a 45-degree angle. So this is my Quilter Select ruler, and I've got this one here all ready to go. So I've got this really cute backing fabric, and I have fused, this is fusible fleece, and I've just ironed that together. So what I do is I lay that bumpy side up, because the bumpy side is the glue. I lay that and I just iron this on top of it, and it holds it really well. So I don't have to worry about the back shifting on me while I'm stitching. Normally I want 2 or 3 inches all the way around, but this particular panel fits exactly there, so I have to be really careful. The other thing I could do is I could have laid it out long ways to give me that extra. This is small enough, I'm gonna just wing it. I think it's gonna work great. So I've got it laid out here the way I like. This is a little temporary spray adhesive. This is KK2000, which I really like. It's a nice temporary hold, so it's not the thing that you wanna use if you're gonna do it and leave it in the closet for 6 months before you get back to it. But I'm gonna shake it up really good. And I like this one because I don't get the terrible fumes that some of the other brands have. I'm gonna lift this up, and you just want just a little spritz on it. That's plenty, okay? If you get too much on it, you'll notice that your needle starts to get gooey. Nobody likes a gooey needle. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna do the same thing on the side. Like so, and then fold that back. And again, it's temporary, so if I need to lift it up and realign it, I can, but I think that's really good. And then I'm gonna mark one reference line. So I'm gonna take my 45-degree angle on my ruler, which is this line right here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I'm gonna take that and kind of through the middle of my placemat. I've got that 45-degree angle lined up on the edge of my placemat. I take my friction pin, and I am just gonna mark one reference line. And I like these because it's a nice clear line that I can see. And as I get older, that becomes more and more important. And I know that I'm gonna come back, and pretty soon I am gonna want the diagonal going the opposite direction. So while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and mark that direction as well. So I just turn my ruler over, and I need longer arms, is what I need. There we go. All right, so I'm all marked. I'm ready to go. So let's move over to the sewing machine.
We're good.
Okay, so I'm all ready to go. I have got my sewing star's foot, my thread that I'm going to use, my lines all marked. So let's get stitching. I'm going to line that up just with the edge. I like to start a little bit off the edge so I don't have to worry about burying in any thread tails. This one, again, I have a built-in walking foot, so I'm going to go ahead and engage that. And the other thing that I like to do, on this particular needle, I have what we call the hover stitch. So if I'm sewing with the needle down engaged, anytime I stop, the presser foot lifts up just a little bit, which makes it nice because then I can make any adjustments that I need. And I'm just going to sew right down that marked line. And when I get to the end, I'm going to use my scissors. So now I've got my reference line established. And that looks pretty good. Don't look here really close where I strayed from my line. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in my quilting bar. So on this machine, there's a little hole in the back of the ankle that this slides in. My little trick, it's intended to go this direction, but I like mine to go the opposite way. So it's actually upside down, but that works just as well. Let's use my head here. And I want to line it up so that it's spaced 1.5 inches apart. This particular throat plate has a marking for 1.5 inches, but if I don't, I can just take a little ruler and measure. And what you want is from the tip of the needle to where that quilting bar lands to be about 1.5 inches, or however wide you want mine. I decided 1.5 inches is a good increment. And then once I get that established, I'm just going to tighten that screw in the back so it doesn't shift on me. But what that does, if I have that in here, and again, kind of backwards, but then as I sew my lines, I get less and less under the neck of my machine, where if I'm going the other way, then I get more bulk under the neck of my machine. And I like not having so much stuff under there. All right, so again, we're going to start off of the edge. I kind of have to eyeball it there just a little bit, but I think I could wing that much. So as I go down, I just want to shoot. And what my eye is following is this line here, and I want to keep that even with my reference line. And then the temptation is that I would just keep going until I get that side all finished up. But what happens is if I keep going that direction, it's going to start to stretch that way on me. And I want to keep it even. So the next round, I am going to turn it around and come from this angle. Get that thread out of the way. And again, I have to kind of eyeball just this much, but I think I can do it. All right, now side one is done. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna follow the line that's in the opposite direction and do exactly the same process. And that's gonna complete that crosshatch grid that I think is so cute. So give me just a minute and we'll do that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go down my second side. This is where the walking foot becomes super important because as I come up on those intersections where the thread is, I don't want any puckers. I'm gonna do this first reference line just like before. Stitching just like before, and when I get all that same done, I am gonna have this beautiful crosshatch pattern like that. I love it. It looks just as good on the back as it does on the front. And then we just come back and I just added a regular 2.5 inch binding on this one, or whatever the binding of your choice, but I love that. And again, not a lot of time invested, and it's something easy that I can do to switch out for the seasons, just to make my table look bright and fun. So anyway, I hope you give this a try. Just another super fun technique to add to your sewing arsenal. So thanks so much, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.